This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
1, 2, 3. Lovely.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night. It's 7 p.m. and you're watching the Maastricht edition on Facebook Live. Tonight we have the lovely Janne from Museumnacht and our equally lovely Robert from Wine Winkel Wyck. Stay tuned.
Yay! Good evening, everybody. Here we are again at the Maastricht edition. And yes, I believe you can see us this week.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Let's hope. I have been praying a lot this week, so I hope the connection to the man upstairs will see us through this.
Well, let's hope so, because last week we had some gremlins, that's for sure. And in fact, the gremlins have stolen our mat.
Oh my God! It's like a Halloween story is unfolding between our eyes. Look at this.
Yes, unfortunately, last week was Matt's last show and we didn't get to give him a proper send-off, which was really, really sad. The good news is he's going to come back in a few weeks and give us an update on his big move back to the UK, and we'll have a chat with him then. But everybody here at the Maastricht edition wishes him well, and we miss you already. Oh.
We do.
I don't know if you can, if we get to broadcast out. Tracy's sending me loads of hearts on the screen here, but I don't think that broadcasts actually. But we got it on. Don't mind us. We're just having a loving.
Continue the love, darling, because now it's just the two of us.
It is.
You know, we've that's it. It's our new theme song.
It's the sisters doing it for themselves. Although we do have the lovely fear dabs in the background there, our tech guru. So it's although he could be an honorary girl, I suppose.
Could he? He's all man, that fear dabs, I think. But I thought last time we saw him, we likened him to James Dean, didn't we?
That's very true, actually. Yes. Oh well, let's not dwell on that for too long. It's too early in the evening. But let's concentrate on tonight. So coming up tonight, as Tracy said at the top of the show, Janne from Museumnacht, who, bless her, has been so patient because she did join us tentatively last week, and then it all went completely wibble, and we had to throw the towel in. So she's come back again this evening. She will be joining us later on in the show. And we've got our resident wine guru, Robert de Koning from Wijn Winkel Wyck. He will be coming up in about 5 minutes' time. So yes, get your glasses ready. He's going to be giving us an update on what you should be drinking at this time of the year, because yes, it has gone a little autumnal for sure in the last week.
It has, but you know, it's still, they're beautiful sunsets at the moment, if anyone's paying attention. Very, very nice. And although it's a bit kind of leaves on the ground and a bit chilly, it's the sun is still there. So it's actually, it's okay.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I did look at the weather forecast for next week, and it looks like that we might actually have a couple of days that are a little warmer. So I'm thinking that might be my window of opportunity to get in the garden and get all those jobs done that I need to do before the end. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything, should I?
No, why? Because there's a risk of freezing coming soon based on the local weather reports. So pay attention just in case that you do a lot of good work in the garden and then it freezes that night. That would be no good, would it, Jo? Oh, I know.
Thanks, Trace. But the big news, of course, this week is space, because the legendary Captain James T. Kirk himself blasted off into space for just for a few minutes. But I can't help but thinking, you know, if there's anybody that is deserving to go up there, it's got to be William Shatner.
Well, it sort of makes sense that you have Captain James T. Kirk going into space for real, you know. I mean, yeah, and he's 90, bless. I mean, I have it in my news segment. He's actually the oldest person who's ever gone into space. Yeah. And I mean, fair play, 90 years old. Oh, that's quite cool.
Yeah, it is quite cool. So, let me ask you, Tracy, would you go up into space if you had the money?
I would love to. If I had the money, I think I would love it. I think it would be probably only go once, I suppose. I don't know if you'd be able to afford it, but I think it would be quite quite the experience. And imagine seeing, you know, that famous picture we see of the curve of space as you just kind of go out of the orbit area and watching from above. And, oh, you know, could be quite lovely. But who knows? In another 100 years, maybe that'll be like booking a trip to Spain.
Well, yeah, they're talking about it as space tourism, aren't they? So, at present, you don't get very long up there. But I think it is all about the looking back at Earth, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And, you know, Elon Musk is also doing a lot of headway towards this type of thing. There's a lot of them now. Richard Branson is exploring it. Jeff Bezos, of course. So there's a lot of these high profile folks looking into these options. So very exciting times. But William, if you're watching, well done. Come on the show. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's tuning in as we speak. We'd love to have you on here, William. That would be fabulous. Now, I tell you what is going to be happening, because, as we said, lovely Matt has left the show. A few things are going to be changing over the next few weeks. We've got some exciting new ideas that are going to be coming up with the show. One of which is we have a new segment that is a book recommendation from the English bookstore. Now, of course, we've had the English bookstore on the show before, and we've also had a few of their guest talkers that have been appearing at the bookstore. They often appear to talk about their book or to maybe talk about the research that they've been doing for the book, etc., etc. So we reached out to them and said, you know what, it'd be nice if maybe you could recommend a book for us on the show every week. And they said, absolutely. And they got very excited.
Why? Because they're really lovely people. And by the way, if you haven't been to the English bookstore at Maastricht, you really should pop along. Great selection for young and old, secondhand and new. They also have vinyl records, which are very cool. So do check it out. But very nice people, and we're delighted to introduce this new segment for them.
Absolutely. So the first one that they've actually recommended is an absolute classic. This is Papillon by Henri Charrière. I'm just using this as an opportunity to use my French accent, which we know is absolutely perfect.
Well done, darling.
This is an absolutely classic book. You can see a picture of it right now. The little synopsis is, this is an astounding autobiography of a man wrongly convicted of murder, incarcerated, and obsessed with escape. In a penal colony in French Guinea, Papillon continually tries to break free, only to be sent to Devil's Island, a place where no one has ever escaped from yet. It's a compelling adventure and a compulsive read that will leave you cheering for a clever, courageous hero. Now, there you go. That sounds quite exciting.
Good Lord, that's a lot to get from one book. But I must say, the image we just saw there, I believe it's a copy of the newer version, because the movie, I recall, because it's now mostly the movie I saw actually had Steve McQueen in it, if I recall, from, I think it was back in the 70s somewhere. So this looks like to be a newer version of the classic movie, I believe. And also the book, I guess.
It is. So it was originally published in 1969. It covers a 14-year period between 1931 and 1945. And the film that you were talking about with Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman, that came out in 1973. And there's been a more recent one in 2017 that had Charlie Hunnam and Rami Malek, that you will know, who played Freddie Mercury in the recent Bohemian Rhapsody movie. So.
And he's also the baddie in the current James Bond movie.
He is. And before we talk about the film, because I did want to bring it up briefly, have you actually seen it?
No, not yet.
Have you seen Papillon?
Have you seen it, Jo?
No, I haven't.
Oh, sorry. Papillon. Okay. So just to recap, I have seen the original Papillon movie, and I have read the book. I have it in my case here. I have not seen the new James Bond movie. There we go.
I've seen the original movie. I haven't seen the second movie, and I haven't read the book. However, I feel I maybe should pop along to the English bookstore, have a chat with Kirsty there, who's recommended this. So a big thank you to Kirsty. a big thank you to the English Bookstore. And that is our book of the week recommendation. Now, I think it probably would be a good idea if we get our first... Oh, sorry, Trace, go on. No?
No, I was just going to say I'm already looking forward to next week's book recommendation.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It doesn't get any more exciting. I think it's probably about time that we got our first guest on. So let's see where our lovely Robert is. He's hanging out there in the wings, I believe. Robert de Koning from Wijn Winkel Wyck, our resident wine guru. Calling Robert, where are you? There he is. Oh, we can't hear you, Robert.
Oh, great. We peaked too soon, Joe.
We did.
The gremlins are back.
Oh, goodness.
Something's happening.
He's pressing a few buttons.
Here we are.
There he is.
Here we are.
Hello, Robert. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes, can't complain.
Excellent.
So,
nice to see you. Where
doing
are you
well.
exactly? Are you in the shop?
Oh yes, we're having a wine tasting for my. Yes, of course. Yes. Well, I invited you. No nonsense. I have the a wine tasting. I'm a student coach for the international students at the hotel school first year. So we're having a wine tasting tonight of one of my groups. So
Nice.
yes. So we stay in the theme of international. International.
Excellent. Well, actually, maybe you could give us a bit of insight because you're teaching these kids. What exactly is going to be happening during this wine tasting then? I'm assuming it's part of the course then. So what will they be doing? I mean, obviously they're tasting wine, but are they learning about what kind of flavours and notes to find or what?
Well, that's what we do at school. Here we're going to do community building.
Ah.
It's a social event, and they're going to learn in school. It's all technical tasting, and here they're going to learn what do I taste? You know, flowers. You know, rusty. I don't know, rusty gate in the spring, summer, blah blah blah, things like that. You know, I'm not like that at all, but you know, so we're going to have good fun. It should be a fun thing. We're going to taste about 10, 11 wines. So yeah, it's going to be very enjoyable, I think. Yeah.
Well, Tracy and I would be there like a shot if we didn't have the show to do.
I think it's good that we connected with Robert now. Yeah.
Oh well, listen, we start at 8. It takes at
Absolutely.
least
I
till
think
10 or 10, half past 10. So you know, yeah, we got plenty of wine in the store.
Yeah, there's still time.
There's still time.
So as we were saying at the top of the hour there, Robert, it is very autumnal now. We're coming to that time of the year where our tastes are changing, maybe from white into red. What have you got for us for this autumn?
What we have in this, we got lovely new wines, new red wines, all a bit fuller, not too fruity anymore. We're going into warm winter wines, warm autumn wines, you know, not too hard on tannins, but really nice and warm and yeah, you know, you can do it with roasts, you can do it with like Boeuf Bourguignon, stuff like that. You know, those wines that give you the food that gives you a warm feeling and the wine as well. So not too fresh, but you know, according to the food, nice, warm, and relaxing, and you know, etc., etc. So yes, and we have some new wines. We went to we had a tasting the other week, and we selected some beautiful new wines, especially for the season, and they also look very nice. I'll show you. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a nice label. Very different.
Yeah, this is the red. This is the white. You see, it's beautiful.
Nice.
So it's actually very good, and they're beautiful, and they're all around 10 euros, and they're really nice. So we got a Corbière, which is oaked, which is not too hard, nice ripe fruit, you know, so not too hard tannins, excellent for this transitional period. Yeah, really. So coming into autumn, you can still have a few beautiful nights, or days, and therefore, it's between the heavy stuff and the light stuff, and it's a really nice transition to. I can drink these wine all year through, but for the season, it's good. And we have a really nice Chardonnay, which is lightly oaked, beautiful, all Corbière, and the red one is very nice as well, oaked and unoaked, and it's a whole new discovery, and we're really happy with it. Yeah,
fantastic. Now, actually, I just wanted to pick up on the wine labels there, because I've been drinking wine for a few years now, and it seems to me
some of the wines you've been drinking.
Well, it seems to me that wine labels, probably in the last, 10, 15 years, they've really changed. It used to be just a standard label with the name on, where it came from, that's it. But now we're getting some really arty designs. Yes,
it's true. It's like your table piece. You're sitting having dinner with friends, and you put a bottle of wine on the table, and it has a really boring label you're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
You're sitting across some people you really don't want to talk about. We need to talk about something. And then you got a really beautiful label. Say, oh, look at the label. And then you got a new whole discussion started. So it helps a bit the discussion. It also, if you want to give a present, I had one day, I think 2 years, somebody came in with a wine from Greece. The label looked, as if you would go straight away into depression. I said, I can't sell that. People won't buy it because the label is so awful. It was like a man, really dark, and he had his hand like that. And, it's like a problem drinker. You don't want to have that on your bottle. So it needs to be a cheerful, and nice, appealing label. That is true. Yeah, people also buy with the eye. Say, oh, this looks nice. Must be good. Yeah, be careful though.
Of course, yes.
For sure.
Yeah, as far as marketing is concerned, for people who, if they're trying to appeal to people who maybe don't know enough about wine, don't really know what they're looking for, putting a funky label on the front is going to be eye-catching, and people will straight away be drawn to it and go, oh, let's have that because it looks good.
Yes, so it must be good. But it's not always the case. But in my store, of course, if you find a really nice label, it's going to be really nice. If you find a label which perhaps is a bit more boring, the content will be even better. So some wine producers do still stick to their traditional label. You can't do that. You can't.
Yeah.
Help that.
Yeah. But
as long as the content is good, then
I think it's a fair point actually to say, when you're going out to buy wine, okay, yes, you can go to the supermarket and you can buy some good wines these days. But if you want to get some knowledge behind those funky labels to find out, what works for you for your dinner party that weekend, it's really worth coming to little independent shops like yourself and talking to the people who know wine.
I do agree. Yes. No, it's true. It's and we can tell you exactly. We ask you, what do you like? We also ask you, what would you like to spend? I can find a really nice wine for 10 euros or 9 euros. It's no problem. But I can also, if you say, oh, I would like to spend between 10 and 15, I will never go for 15 or 16. I will try to find something which is in the middle. Because what we do like is we do like to give the people a good bottle of wine which they enjoy, not too pricey, not too overpriced, so they come again. Yeah, that's the whole idea behind it. And you build up a relation. We had a few weeks ago, we had the open bottle day, as you know, and we had about 100 bottles opened for our regular clients, customers who come to the store, and we. It was great. We had about 55 people coming, with all students from the high school behind the stations to explain in the wine. So it was really good fun. So next time, do come. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Robert, that particular day, we had some family engagement.
Not to worry. We'll do it again in March. We'll do it again in March. So.
Excellent. And of course, you do organise wine tastings. If people wanted to have a wine tasting at their home or at their business, you are available to do that as well.
Yeah, we're very flexible. We come to your house, we come to their houses, to their business. You can do it here, a minimum of 8 people. if you've got less people, it's going to be slightly more expensive because you still have to open the bottles,
Yeah.
But so we cater to everybody's wishes, and we can. And you can also say, oh, I really like, or I really dislike that kind of wine, or I like that kind of wine, and I know, so I bring the wines you probably will like. So that's the whole idea. It's all very individual and all tailor-made.
And it's all very dangerous as well.
But also not.
It depends.
So, Robert, remind everybody, where can they find you if they want to come and have a chat with you about wine?
You can find us in the Rechtstraat, Wijn Winkel Wyck. It's the store. You can see it in the window. It's next to the shoemaker. Most people know that, but then don't know it's the wine store. But now it's very clear to see. We got a big barrel standing outside, and come to us for advice, for a nice bottle of wine, or even a nice tasting.
Excellent. Brilliant stuff. Well, as always, Robert, absolutely wonderful to have you on the show.
Fabulous.
And
Happy to be here.
I suspect we're going to squeeze you in before Christmas as well, and you'll be telling us all about the bubbles that we can have for Christmas.
Oh, yes, and New Year's. Yes, we got the new fresh load of beautiful champagnes in, so yes.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Lovely to see you as always, Robert.
Great to be on the show, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Take care now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Robert.
Oh,
Bye.
bless.
Oh, how wonderful.
Oh, well, he's in
Nice.
for a good
And we
night.
should always mention as well that I think so. I think he's all heading off to start his wine tasting at 8. But we should remind people as well that Robert actually sells mostly bio and organic wines, which is actually quite a desirable thing at the moment.
Yes.
And he also can speak with you about that and your needs. So, and of course, we mentioned bubbles. He does sell bubbles in the store as well. So it's a one-stop shop for
he really does know his stuff, he's so knowledgeable. And he travels, or up until recently he had been traveling around the globe to various places, teaching as well, and going to vineyards and whatnot. So I dare say that will start picking up again soon. But if you're stuck at all, you don't know what to have for your little dinner party that's coming up at the weekend, have a chat with him and his wife Anouk. Both of them absolutely lovely, know so much about wine, and as Tracey said, it's all bio wine, which means you don't get as much of a hangover. Just saying.
Oh, right. Is that? I'm not. I think there's probably other benefits there as well. But one of the benefits is, as according to Joe,
I think you've frozen on me, Tracey.
Oh no.
Oh no, you're back again. Okay.
I don't know. I'm telling you, those gremlins are sticking around. That we weren't tough enough with them last week.
They're in the wings, aren't they? They're just waiting to pounce. So let's move swiftly on, because we didn't have a chance to do this last week, but we have a chance this week. We have a window of opportunity, so let's take it. It is time for us to relax, to put our feet up, to wind down as the whole of Maastricht comes to a grinding halt, because it is time for This Day in History.
This Day in History. Oh my God, that was very melodic. Good Lord.
Well, that's one word for it.
Oh, Joe. New idea. We could do This Day in History in a different musical genre each week. So that was kind of, church-like almost, wasn't it? So next week we could do death metal, and then we could do grunge. But have a think about it.
You need to get out more, my love. Oh, death metal, yeah. Mate, if we're going to do that, I think we need to leave it to the end of the show, because I don't think either of us will be able to speak properly after that. Anyway.
Could be tough going indeed.
It is Thursday, the 14th of October. Yes, we're halfway through October. Not long to go now. I'm sure you know how many shopping days there are left, Tracey.
There's something like, I think about 80, is it 80, 75, 80 days to Christmas.
And we're not 100% sure whether actually there's going to be enough to buy in the stores anyway, because there's so many places that have closed down, or because of the posting problems still. You know, are you going to get things in time? So shop early. If you're going to do any shopping online, shop early this year for sure. Anyway.
Do, because there's only 7 days. I've just checked.
There you go.
There
you go. She's on the ball. It's Thursday, the 14th of October, and in 1892, Arthur Conan Doyle publishes The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the collection of 12 stories, which were originally published serially in the Strand magazine. Now, I am a big fan of Sherlock Holmes as far as watching the programmes are concerned, but I've never read the books, and I'm not really a cosy mystery type of book reader, if I'm honest. What about you, Trace?
I have the full collection of the books. I've read them, and I've also watched them in the movie. There's been some movies, different adaptations. Of course, the TV series with the fabulous Benedict was just wonderful.
Yes, it was very, very good. I really enjoyed that one. And actually, there's Elementary, which is the modern version that's been done in the US, which I thought was very good as well.
Yes. Johnny Lee Miller, very, very nice.
He's rather lovely.
Indeed, very, very good. Lucy Liu. Yeah, he plays it very well. I do like the characterization. So that's also a good tip, yes.
Yes. In 1926, on this day, A.A. Milne's book, Winnie the Pooh, is released. Sticking with the book theme there. Now, I wasn't much of a Winnie the Pooh fan when I was younger.
God, I even had a little life-size Winnie the Pooh doll that had elastics on his feet, so I could put my feet in there and I could dance with him when I was a little girl. Oh. I also have all the books. Oh dear.
Well, I did used to live around not far from Pooh Corner, actually. So where the original place where the books are actually set, I used to live around the corner from there. But yeah, I wasn't a huge Pooh fan. When it comes to bears, probably more of a Paddington fan rather than a Pooh fan.
Oh, I love Paddington.
Yeah. What have I started? In 1931, on this very day, the first broadcast of the Dutch Radio People's University. And in 1947, Dutch Queen Wilhelmina gives an award to General Eisenhower. A few years later, in 1952, the UN General Assembly first meets at its new headquarters in New York. And the following year, the first 3 Dutch female police officers go into service. So that's 1953, actually. Mm-hmm. So they've had female cops in the Netherlands for quite a while now. 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. was announced as the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. And also that very same year, Philips begins experimenting with colour TV. Now, I don't actually know what that phrase means, experimenting with colour TV. But the experiment they did, maybe that just meant everybody was one particular colour. Pick a colour, let's all be red. I don't know. But I suppose it really changed. In 1968, the opening of the rebuilt Euston railway station in London, England opened. And the following year, in 1969, the UK introduces the 50p piece coin. It was replacing the 10 shilling note in anticipation of the currency decimalisation in 1971. Coming back to the Netherlands in 1977, Princess Beatrice opens the Amsterdam Metro. And 2 years later, in 1979, the first gay and lesbian civil rights march was in Washington, D.C., with over 100,000 people. On this very day in 1986, the International Olympic Committee decides to stagger winter and summer Olympic schedules. Now, I don't even remember this, actually, because I was thinking, well, I seem to remember that they were just, it was like every 2 years, but apparently, yeah, the staggering started in 86. I don't remember when I was a kid that they were all in the same year, so they must have been.
Yeah.
Who knows? 2007, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, featuring Kim, Khloe and Kourtney Kardashian, premieres on the E! cable network in the US. I can tell you right now, I have never seen a single program of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In fact, it's only, about 2 weeks ago that I actually put the name Kim Kardashian and a person together on TV. Because there was some building program that, well, you say, oh dear, honestly, I mean, what have I got in common with Kim Kardashian? She was on some building program of all things, having some renovation work done for a friend of hers, and she came on and I was like, oh, so that's Kim Kardashian. She's quite small. I mean, I have seen pictures of her, but I just saw pictures of this glamorous woman and I didn't know which Kardashian she was. Now I know that's Kim Kardashian. I don't know what having that information is going to do for me, but I now know. And finally, on this day in 2020, a copy of William Shakespeare's first folio sells for a record $9.98 million at auction in New York. And for those of you who do not know what a folio is, it's a piece of paper. It's the first piece of paper in a collection of other pieces of paper. And it was sold for $9.98 million. Oh my God.
Crumbs.
Yeah, exactly. Let's throw a few birthdays out there. On this day, 1927. Oh, we got a bit of a Bond theme here, actually. 1927 on this day, Roger Moore, the British actor who played James Bond, of course, was born. 1939, Ralph Lauren, the American fashion designer, was born. 1940, Sir Cliff Richard, also known as Harry Webb, that's his birth name. Oh, yeah. English singer-songwriter. He was born in India. In 1978, Usher, the American singer, was born in Dallas, Texas. And going back to Bond, in 1980, Ben Whishaw, who is the new Q in the latest films of James Bond, was also born in Clifton, in England. Happy birthday to anybody else who's celebrating a birthday today. However you are choosing to celebrate it, hope you're having a lovely day. And that was This Day in History.
Darling. Very nice as always. Very interesting. Fun facts.
So we've established neither of us have seen the Bond film yet.
Yes, maybe next week we can chat. I might get to see it in the coming days. Who knows? It's 3 hours long though, so
I know.
Carve out quite a chunk of time there, but we shall see.
I know. Well, I was very pleased that actually on Dutch TV over the course of last week they have actually broadcast the first 4 Daniel Craig Bond films. So I've recorded all those. I watched Casino Royale again last night. I shall watch the others because I need to see the 4th one again, Spectre.
I see, Spectre, yeah.
Because I don't remember much about it. And it carries on, exactly. Yeah. So it literally sort of like 2 minutes after the last one finished, the new one starts. So I definitely need to see that one again because there's no way I'm going to remember it. But
refresh your memory.
Exactly.
I'm sure they do a recap.
Yes. It needs to be done. I need a reboot every now and then, and that is my kind of reboot. But I tell you what we need now. I think we need a bit of news, Tracey.
Well, we do, yes, and then we're going to have our second guest. How exciting!
There's no stopping us. Tracey Taylor with the news.
Thank you, Jo, and good evening, everyone. It's October 14th, and you're watching the Maastricht edition on Facebook Live. First, a look at your weekend weather, and we will see some rain as we move into Friday, but things will clear up as the day goes on. Saturday will be dry with some sunny spells and highs of 13, though it may well feel colder. Sunday will be a brighter day with highs of 16. Moving to your bulletin for tonight, and first, international news. The killing of 5 people in a bow and arrow attack in Norway yesterday appears to have been an act of terror. The 37-year-old suspect is a Danish Muslim convert who police say was already on their radar over fears that he had been radicalized. 4 women and 1 man, all aged between 50 and 70, died in the town of Kongsberg in Norway's deadliest attack in a decade. According to the World Health Organization, a new team charged with investigating COVID-19 may be the last chance to find the origins of the virus. 26 experts will join the Scientific Advisory Group for the Origins of Novel Pathogens and will be tasked with investigating new pathogens and preventing future pandemics. Poland plans to build a wall on its border with Belarus in a bid to stem the flow of migrants trying to cross. The wall is estimated to cost €353 million and will include motion detectors. The draft law also states that the public would not be allowed within 200 meters of the wall. Britain's Prince William has sparked controversy by blasting space terrorism and saying space closer to home. Prince William said, quote, "We need the world's greatest brains and minds fixed on trying to repair this planet and not trying to find the next place to go to and live," end quote. Star Trek's William Shatner made history as the oldest person in space after blasting off from the Texas desert in a rocket built by Jeff Bezos' company. The 90-year-old actor safely reached the final frontier, delighting the millions of sci-fi fans who knew him as Captain James T. the USS Enterprise. Moving to domestic news, the Dutch cabinet plans to ban fake consumer reviews at online stores and platforms from next year. According to the bill, online merchants will have to authenticate consumer reviews before they are posted, including checking that the consumer posting the review is a genuine individual who actually bought the product. And KLM has doubled the fee for taking your dog on board their aircraft. The price depends on which flight you take, but the maximum increase is from 200 to 400 euros. KLM will continue to offer its customers an option to transport pets when checking baggage in a user-friendly way. Staying with travel, and between December 12th and January 8th, the number of Eurostar trains from Brussels to London and vice versa will increase from 3 to 5. 2 of the trains will also run to and from Amsterdam. Travellers must wear a mask for the journey, and passengers are asked to be well prepared and inform themselves about the British coronavirus rules. Moving to local news, and the coronavirus warning level for Limburg is increasing, and the province has turned red, the second highest level on the European map. The rest of the Netherlands remains orange. Due to work on the track, there will be no stops nor express trains between Valkenburg and Maastricht on Saturday 16th and Sunday 17th October. Arriva will instead offer a replacement bus service. Passengers should take travel times into account. You will still need a valid ticket or to use your OV chip card. Do note that bicycles cannot be taken on the bus. More information on the Arriva website. And finally, tonight, a Turkish woman has officially been named the tallest woman alive by Guinness World Records. Rumisa Gelgi stands at 2 meters 30 or 7 foot 7 inches tall. Her stature is the result of a condition called Weaver syndrome, which causes accelerated growth. The 24-year-old said, quote, "Every disadvantage can be turned into an advantage for yourself. So accept yourself for who you are, be aware of your potential, and do your best," end quote. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limerick Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht Edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, Maastrichter.com. If a historical walking tour in the city is more your thing, then check out Meet Maastricht, the key to your city. And finally, don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on YouTube, on Redbubble, and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Nicely done, Tracey.
Thank you.
There was a lot going on there.
I know, indeed. I can't believe I said space terrorism instead of space tourism. That was a bit of a...
It'll come, I'm sure, at some point.
Well, you never know. But just that people know, Prince William talked about space tourism.
Yes. Oh dear.
just to clarify that.
They have enough problems going on in the royal family.
Oh, they do.
They don't need any more. So coming up later on in the show, we are going to be announcing the winner of our photo competition.
Yes.
That's going to be coming up later, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I think it's probably time that we got our next guest on. I believe that Janne is in the house there somewhere. Let's see if we can get her on. Ooh.
I believe
Janne from Museumnacht.
Janne is actually in the UK, isn't she?
She is actually, yes.
So could be small delay, who knows? Could have an impact.
Now, if Janne is listening, can you maybe try and join the call at the moment, because I'm having trouble getting you onto our call.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that she might be listening and can just click on join, because for some reason, oh goodness me, we are gonna get her on the show. We are definitely going to get her on the show. I don't know if maybe Tracey, you could have a go at the add to call.
Oh gosh, this should be fun.
So at the top there, you've got a little plus sign, and there she is.
Is it? Yeah.
Yay! Hello, at last.
Oh, good. Yeah, I just pushed taking part of the. I didn't wait to call, so.
Well, do you know what? I'm not going to say that you're jinxed, but this is.
I think it is. I'm the gremlin. Sorry.
Oh, it all becomes clear, Tracey. So next week it's all going to be fine.
I will quickly shut off Facebook.
So we do need to explain that you're not actually in the country. You're in Blighty in the UK.
Yes, I'm in London. So hopefully I'm able to travel to the Netherlands on Sunday with all the test and vaccination approval. So hopefully everything goes according to plan. But yeah, I would be landing on Maastricht ground on Sunday, hopefully.
Fantastic. So we are here you're here to talk about Museumnacht. So first of all, let's find out, what is your connection to Museumnacht? Why are we talking to you in London and not talking to somebody around the corner?
Yeah, I think it's because I left Maastricht. So I used to work for the tourism office, so Maastricht marketing. So I always was connected with culture and the art events, etc. And when I left in 2016, so Museumnight just started, and I was already sort of part of it. And you can get the girl out of Maastricht, but not Maastricht out of the girl. I don't know if you say it that way, but yeah, I still the connection with Museumnight stayed, especially because if you have to meet everyone, that's a really good event to be part of. And I love the setup, and I love how everyone collaborates. So it really sort of it's a good way to stay connected with the city.
It is a fantastic event, but for those people out there who have got no idea what we're talking about, the fact that museums open at night time, what does that mean? Maybe you could give people a brief outline of what to expect.
Yeah, I think it's always sort of extraordinary to go to the museum when it's dark. So, but apart from all the exhibitions that take place, there's a lot of additional programming. So we had a guy who was dressed up as a living frikandel. I don't know how you say that. That's sort of the vibe. If you have to explain Museumnight, Maastricht, that's sort of a good example to give. It's I think everyone sort of experiments a little bit more, perhaps maybe because it's dark, and it also has a really good vibe. It's young and old people. We've got a lot of people. Also, the students are coming. I think we have about 40% of our visitors are students. So it's a really interesting mix. It's not just the mix between theater, dance, and you see young and old, children from 6 that are always really excited when they go to the Natural History Museum. And they get everything explained about the dinosaurs. But yeah, there's also, Landbouw Belang, a brewery, so the brewery boss who's part of it. So I think that's it. It sort of, it clashes sort of, but it has a good connection because everyone works together. Yeah. So I think that's the museum night. Everything is possible.
There is an atmosphere, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's at night time.
Yeah, and also because the people who work together who normally sort of didn't work together, they find it together with during the museum night. But also, the students are involved. I think that's it. I think it's not just the nighttime. It's also like how the setup is. it's combining, these massive, great exhibitions at Bonafante with, a little bit of beer at the brewery, the books at Boekhandel. That's it. I think it's the mix also. Yeah.
It's the mix, and it's coming up pretty soon because it's next week Friday, right? The 22nd of October. So you must be super busy right now doing the last final bits and things. How has COVID-19 impacted the entire event?
Oh, I have to say, it was horrible. So it was the 12th of March. I think that was the time that they canceled everything. And our event was on the 12th of April. And that was our 5th year anniversary. So we had to cancel everything. So it was quite challenging also because, of course, we had all the cost of one edition, and of course, we wanted to pay everyone back, which also was possible with everything that we built up during these 4 years. But so we decided to do this in October. We're doing an art appetizer, so we kept it intimate, small, and by doing it, we're able to do it. Giving all the space, giving all the freedom to the venues. To do what they're able to do within the parameters that, of course, COVID now and all the rules are providing. And we also didn't want to sort of get too much budget that we need now. Talents needed, the cultural scene. So we always sort of what's the relevance of the night, and that's, being together, having this event again, opening our doors together. I think that's sort of the aim of next Friday. And it's going to be fun again. I'm really excited. I'm sure able to be there.
Yeah. Oh, fingers crossed for you. Janne, are there still tickets available at this late stage?
There are still. But I have to say, because we're now working with start locations, so everyone is quite free. The only thing to make sure that the flow of the visitors is good from the start, you have to select start locations. So there are 3 locations already sold out, and I think seeing at the backside, 3 will follow quite fast. There are still tickets, but I would suggest you to act quick. Be quick, because it's because we don't have it's a limited edition, so we don't have the full capacity. It will be an intimate, and I think we'll have about 30% that we normally have a ticket. So I think it will. You have to be fast, especially if you want to start at Bonafante or another venue.
So there's a recommended schedule for everybody, is there?
Yeah, no, just go with the flow. That's always our approach. So the only thing that they need is to select the start location, that we make sure that everyone sort of has spread across all the venues, and then they're able to visit what they want to visit. But there's a program online, and everyone sort of can select what they want. If you want opera, or if you want more dance or theater or art, there's a good mix that you can do. Yeah, and you've got 4 hours, so.
It's like a festival, really, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I think I have to say it will definitely be a little bit more intimate. But I think I'm quite curious, how that will be, and how the city, sort of at night. The good thing about the museum that you see everyone walking from venue to venue. So that I think that's already good.
And are you already?
I think you're right.
Sorry, Trace.
No, I was just going to say that about seeing the people walking around. It brings so much life into the city again after it being so dark and quiet and dead almost. So that really is
and the lights are up. They're starting to get the lights
even
up
if
as
museum,
well.
Watch the people.
So that's good. I'm like,
I saw my first Christmas lights today.
Yeah. So that's how I love the time of year in Maastricht.
So are there already discussions about how this is going to look next year?
So next year, the 8th of April, we're doing our 5th year's anniversary, and we're sort of that will be our big splash again, as we always do. So we're already looking at what can we add to it, because that's one of the things we always challenge ourselves, what can we do different, and we do want to sort of make more connections, as well as how can we add some extra elements, as in performance-wise, collaboration-wise. So that's definitely on the table already.
This doesn't only happen in Maastricht, of course. It happens across the country. So do you look over each other's shoulders to see, oh, what are they doing?
No, but it's even collaborating. So I had contact with Brussels. I had contact with Amsterdam, Nijmegen just went. Den Haag was last week. So that's the fun thing, you know. And it also, the organizations are always really, there's a lot of passion behind it. And of course, everyone's sort of struggling, like, how are you going to do it? Especially knowing, you know, in July, August, everything was still not really sure.
Yeah.
So I think, and so everyone, always ask for questions. There's interesting conversations between the museum nights, and that's fun.
Oh, that's lovely. So please remind everybody, when is it happening? Where do they have to go?
Next Friday from 7 till 11. They need to be in Maastricht. And then they just follow all the people. Of course, you need to have a ticket. And they're only €5. So, I mean, 5 tickets, €5, 13 venues. So it's going to be fun.
And is there a website for them to go to?
I'm going online right now.
Oh!
Museumnacht.nl. That's and you find all the information. It's always in English. So, and everyone who will visit, they will get a timetable.
It's available in English, so no excuse.
Yeah. No. And also, you know, also a lot of the program is in English because we do have a lot of students. Yeah. So that's and it's just stuff. And I would also say just go, you know, and just let yourself be surprised by the night. Don't plan too much because, of course, we do have to keep in mind that sometimes there might be a bit of waiting time because of the capacity, but there will be a good flow of people.
Brilliant. Well, we shall get all of those details onto our socials at the end of the show. You're flying back on Sunday, did you say?
Sunday, yeah, I'm going by train. Yeah, I'm sort of a.
Okay.
But I'm not making it any easier because I now have to cross Belgium and Dutch border.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I got all my tests and everything available, and hopefully I will be there.
We have to have a folder now of all this extra documentation, don't we? Of all these different. Yes, I'm proving this and I'm proving that, and I've done this. And I did this 24 hours ago, and I did this 72 hours ago.
Awful. It's honestly, I really had to do like half a day just to see like, and it's still even Eurostar said, well, we don't know for sure. I'm like, okay, that's good, guys.
No.
Oh, that inspires confidence. And so I think anybody now who is traveling, it's just really nerve-wracking, the idea that you're going to maybe be rejected because you like, oh no, you've just taken a PCR test and it's come up as a false negative possibly, and then it's like, oh, but I can't get on the plane, I can't get on the train, or
And yesterday there were some friends of me were traveling, but apparently our apps or our UK app it was down, so they weren't able to board because they didn't have the green light of the app. So So let's we wish you the best of luck on Sunday.
No gremlins Sunday. Absolutely.
I think what we should say to all our viewers out there, if they see Janne walking around in Maastricht on museum night, take a picture. So she made it. She's here. It's been absolutely lovely having you on the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great fun.
Apologies for last week, but we got you here eventually, so that's great.
Technology, it's great to be here today.
Have a safe journey and good luck with Museumnacht, and come and see us again sometime.
Yes, perfect. We'll do. Bye-bye.
Take care now.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, bless her. Well, let's hope she manages to get here.
Well, I mean, goodness, it would be such a shame if she missed the event herself, you know. But I mean, she's planning to travel this Sunday. The event is next week, Friday. So there is a bit of leeway. So fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. So, but very nice. I'm not sure about you. Unfortunately, I think we again had some connectivity issues during that interview. So I hope people could still follow it relatively well.
You froze for me for about...
You too.
Oh, God.
I had the same, and at one point you were frozen and Janne was gone, and I thought, oh my God, I'll just carry on.
Oh, goodness.
So still those gremlins are lurking about.
They are. Well, we're going to blame Janne on this one. We've already said that she's probably the one who's jinxing it. But I think the most unfortunate thing about all of this is when you freeze, you don't know necessarily what your picture looks like.
Oh, I know.
You looked absolutely fine, but there's a very strong possibility, of course, that I'd frozen up.
Yeah, but that's always how it goes. It's Murphy's Law, isn't it? It's the one moment you just kind of in a bizarre facial expression, and it just, anyway, we got through it. 2 guests, Joe. Well done us.
Pat on the back, pat on the back. Now, before we round up tonight with some Tiddy Bittys, I think we probably should announce the winner of our photo competition.
Bum, ba-da, bum, ba-da, bum.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Well, I tell you, this time, I must say, we had a lot more entries this time around. And of course, more entries makes it more difficult to pick.
It does make it very, very difficult. But let's just remind everybody, we wanted an autumnal picture of Maastricht that is going to be placed on our Facebook site, our Facebook page, and on our website. So we wanted something not necessarily standard of the river, you know, we wanted something a little bit different. So, and as Tracey said, yes, we had an awful lot.
We did.
And of course, we always ask that we want the picture in landscape, not portrait. That's landscape, not portrait.
May I add, this means not necessarily of a landscape format.
Yes.
Portrait.
But maybe that's where we went wrong, because we still did get some portrait pictures coming through. So maybe we have to be even clearer the next time we have a competition.
Having said that, the portrait photographs were very beautiful. The problem is we can't use them because they just won't fit on the header.
No, exactly. But we do have a winner.
Yay!
And we have the winning photo here. It is from Rizal from Indonesia. Now, Rizal, congratulations. You are the winner of our photo competition. Now, I do have to tell you that Rizal isn't currently in Maastricht at the moment. Rizal was here, he was here recently, studying for his PhD and also working for a startup company here. He's currently back in Indonesia. Hopefully he'll be back in Maastricht again soon. But whilst he was here, he was taking some fabulous photos of Maastricht, and I believe we can show you the winning photograph, and this will be put onto our website and onto our Facebook page. Rizal, we shall be in contact with you soon, so congratulations again to Rizal, our winning photo of the competition.
And indeed, for people who don't know, this is a photograph, indeed, of the cathedrals on the Freithof, very famous Freithof here in Maastricht. And what we loved about the photograph were the autumnal colours and the reds and the oranges. It was taken, I think, towards nightfall, so it's a very warm photograph. So very lovely. So well done, you. Yeah,
brilliant stuff. We shall be in contact with you soon. Well, all these guests that we've had on the show, all of a sudden, we're at the end of the show. And we need to get some Tiddy Bittys in before we go. And I know you've got a lot of them tonight.
Oh my God, I have too much news and too many Tiddy Bittys. I mean, maybe you never can have too many Tiddy Bittys, but let's get on with it. First of all, Tracey's tasty Tiddy Bittys. Cafe Chic in Maastricht. This is my recommendation for this week. We were there a few weekends ago. It's just fabulous. It's very, very cute and cozy. And they have a fabulous terrace. I believe the nicest of the terraces in Maastricht. But this time of the year, you go inside, you go where it's nice and cozy. Very nice, good wine, good service, good food, decent portions. It's very gezellig. So I would recommend Cafe Chic for those of you who are here in Maastricht. Very exciting news, people. We had her on the show a few weeks ago, the lovely Michelle Lynn, concert pianist. And her Opus 16 concerts are up and running again. And the first of which is coming up next week, Saturday, the 23rd of October, 7:30 at the Ursuline Convent Museum in Eisden, I believe. And not only can you see Michelle performing on piano, but she's going to be joined by Jules Bainton, who's going to be playing clarinet, which is such a beautiful instrument as well. You can still get tickets, but once again, do not delay. Tick. So go online, check it out how you can arrange your tickets, and you can enjoy a fabulous evening of Brahms, Clara Schumann and Lutosławski. So it sounds really nice. And I understand the program runs for about an hour. And afterwards, there's a chance to mingle and have a glass of wine. Sounds fabulous, doesn't it? So, and next we talked about it earlier, Jo, our new segment, the book review.
Yes.
We also have another new segment, which is highlighting some job opportunities here in the city. So first of all, to any employers out there, if you're looking for staff, particularly perhaps expat staff or English-speaking staff or whatever, let us know and we're happy to do a shout out for you. So a couple I have for you right away. Peter's Irish Pub, yay! They're looking for a head chef and some part-time cooks. Check out their socials. I think it would be a really fun place to work, so that could be quite nice. Eclair Affair, also a former guest on the show, are looking for staff to help out 3 days a week. And Cafe Madrid is looking for a manager, full or part-time, so very exciting spots. I also happen to be in the city today, and I noticed on my walk around that the New Yorker clothing store in Maastricht is looking for some new employees. So if you're into fashion, that could be something for you. And also the Brasserie Amadeus, which is next door to the Bookhandel Dominican, is also looking for staff, and they're going old school. They have a board outside their store. Ask for more information at the bar. So you just pop in and say, I see you're looking for staff, and you can check it out and see what they might have for you. So those are a few little options to consider if you're looking for some part-time work or a full-time job.
Fantastic. I did have one extra one that I just wanted to mention as well. This is from Isabella Rico. She's a classical musician. She's organising the Trio Kaleidoscope. It's a concert on the 28th of October, which is going to be in the Celebrodeskapel in Maastricht. The object is to open classical music to everyone, apparently. So check that out as well. It's a beautiful setting. Absolutely beautiful there.
Yeah, I actually went to a wedding once, the Celebrodeskapel. I actually sang at a wedding once, the Celebrodeskapel, and it's so small but just so beautifully formed. Very, very nice. Very exciting.
Yes.
Lots going on.
Yes, I seem to remember we both went there actually. Didn't we go there?
We did that. We had a soiree, darling.
We
went
did.
there to there was a chap playing there was a chap performing. Oh god, what instrument was he playing? I think it was like a clarinet or something like this. We watched a musical performance. That's what I recall.
Yes, I can't remember what it was playing, but it was lovely anyway. Beautiful setting, absolutely beautiful. So lots going on, lots of info there. We shall be getting as much of it as we possibly can on our socials at the end of the show. Yeah. That's Tracey's job, by the way.
Oh man, I'm going to be here all night.
You are going to be here all night, absolutely. The show will be on our YouTube channel later on as well. We shall be back again next week. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever it is that you choose to do. We've given you plenty of options of things coming up, so maybe you'll see one of us there. Have a lovely time. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll see you then. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Bye.